This video is sponsored by Dyson.
Yo,
How's the trip?
yo, what a trip, man.
Oh man, check what I got, man.
Show me.
Okay, look at the color on this one.
Oh, yes, so many hues. Oh, yes, midnight blue. Charged camera. You send me the mouse?
Yeah.
Nope, wrong one.
Nope.
Yeah, that one.
Sorry, I love this thing. Have we ever showed him the Husky?
I don't think you. Have you guys ever seen the Husky?
Time?
I think it's time. Cause come on. Ever seen the Husky?
What's your stick?
Pretty useful, huh?
Have you ever I love this
Pretty
thing.
useful, yeah. This is the first video I make now that I'm back from vacation, and it feels good. It really does. It also feels nice getting back into the office, arrange all of the tech I brought with me, and make sure it all looks super neat. This workbench is honestly what allows us to keep all of our devices organized. It keeps them charged, clutter-free, easy to find, and away from things that can damage them. This here, my friends, is my absolute recommendation for any home office and workspace, our DIY Husky Tech Workbench. If you guys enjoy our videos, like and subscribe. The idea of having a workbench pretty much came from Jan. On top of that, we are huge fans of pegboards, and so for us, being able to find one with a pegboard was a must, and we actually did. The only thing is that they can be pricey, but as a whole, you will not regret getting something like this. This here is a heavy-duty 61-inch by 23 inches, 10-drawer, 1-door tool storage workbench with flip-up pegboard in matte black. Yes, it does flip up. It's actually how it came in its box, and keep in mind that it does weigh 400 pounds. If you are like Peter and you're trying to bring this up a set of stairs, good luck. We were lucky enough to have an elevator within our building to be able to bring this. It did come with these 6 wheels already pre-installed that can be locked. They slide pretty well and they are overall easy to unlock. Love this feature because a lot of the time I find myself leaning on it. The countertop is made out of this nice light wood, all attached to a steel frame. The wood itself is super nice and smooth and looks so much better in person than on pictures. Like I said, the whole workbench is a big steel frame. It does stick out a bit in the office since it's 24.3 inches in depth, but it doesn't take that much room as it is 59.6 inches in height with a pegboard up and 61 inches in width. Now the depth is not wasted space, not only because the drawers are deep, but Husky included a power bar on the side, which is my favorite feature about it. There's also a handle on top to guide it, a cable management system, and a few other things that we never use. In contrast to the pegboard, which is like the star of the show here, the board itself again is 61 inches in width, but it measures 22 inches in height, taking account the highest point. Note that the shelf on top takes a bit of room and shaves about 4.5 inches. However, I really can't complain as the shelf is super useful and we use it all the time. Now as for the rest, there are 10 drawers, which a lot of them vary in height, and I love the fact they have these mats to avoid scratching your things and the metal frame itself.
Now the only thing I really don't like about the Husky is that sometimes, not always, the drawers, mats, they tend to back up. Let me just show you guys right here. You guys can see I need to pull them all the time, and it's a bit annoying, but it happens. There's also this side box storage you can use that I absolutely love, mainly because of its depth, and note that it can be locked with a key the workbench came with. Note that the lock living at the top of the frame only locks drawers as a whole, which is clutch because this whole thing almost acts like a safe box. My only complaint with it is that it does get dirty in certain spots. The paint on it really picks up dirt quite quickly, although if you take a bit of time to clean things up, it'll look just like it came out of the box. With that in mind, every
However, since we moved in here, we installed our Dyson vacuum next to it, which is what we have been using to clean the workbench. However, this time around, we actually got the latest V12 Detect Slim to make cleaning simpler for us. And the fact that we can clean with comfort is so clutch. For example, the V12 Detect Slim features an on and off button instead of a trigger. So this allows for me to grip the body however I want and clean the trickiest corners, making cleaning easier and a more seamless experience. On top of that, we get all sorts of attachments with this, but most importantly, the laser slim fluffy cleaner head for hard floors. This cleaner head features Dyson's laser illumination technology, which reveals the particles you cannot normally see. With a precisely angled green laser integrated into the cleaner head, I use it underneath the workbench and most of our setups. In here, we tend to get a lot of fluff build up, and because for the most part, these hide in dark areas, the laser really allows me to expose them and get rid of them. Plus, the detangling motor bar on carpets comes in handy as a tool to have. And note that the motor bar is engineered for all floor types. Also, what's so cool about this is Dyson's detangling hair removal vanes. These automatically clear longer hair or ribbon that you suck up. It unpicks the hair and automatically removes it into the bin. With a V12 around our Husky tool chest, we really pick up any sorts of debris like coffee grounds, sawdust after drilling walls, and so on. We really appreciate Dyson sending this one in and helping us make the Husky look like it just came out of the box. Now, making things look fresh out of the box is all good in this case scenario and bad in other ones, because I feel like out of the box the workbench itself needs some DIY. The first thing we did, and I recommend doing, is buying a long power strip. Make sure you get a one with little holes on the side. I was able to pretty much use some cable ties and tie this thing using the holes in the pegboard. Super clean and easy to do. This power bar pretty much acts like a hub to power this whole thing. It lights up our gantry palm light, a LifeX strip I installed behind the pegboard, our Anchis sign, as well as the hue bars we sticked at the bottom of the top shelf. And this, my friends, really adds color and lighting to the workbench, which is very much needed in my opinion. It really does allow us to use the table as a proper working area when it comes to setting up cameras, equipment, working on it, and so on. The rest of the power bar is used to charge our Godux light bars, some USB devices, and our Husky power strip on the side. Also, don't forget you can be a bit clever and use hue plugs in here to control lighting and other things. It's something I very much recommend. As a whole, this allows us to leave room on the Husky's power strip to connect things that often come on and off. And for us, these are things like Mac chargers, battery chargers, GAN chargers, and whatnot. However, one of the USB ports and one of the sockets right here are used permanently. And that's because we decided to route a couple of cables to the first drawer on the right hand side in order to charge your batteries for the camera and for the monitor. This makes things easy because it literally takes like 2 seconds to start charging things. Plus, it keeps everything super organized, just like all of the hooks and sets of pegboard items we got at our local Home Depot. So this here is where things come together. Our layout was very much planned and we needed this to make sense. On the left, instead of keeping the light bars on this table, we mounted some hooks for support. I am still trying to figure out how to charge them while keeping them here, but for now this is a major improvement from what we had before. Towards the bottom, we installed a few baskets. One of them that keeps all of our USB-C hubs for our MacBooks, and the other one that stores portable chargers and big GAN chargers. I do suggest you hook them high enough so you can allow a gap to exist and store small things like, for example, the brackets for our Godux light bars. Honestly, just plan your pegboard to take advantage of as much space as you can. Next to this is where I installed the first hook, which contains a bunch of 18 AWG power cords. With this, we decided to keep the same system with all of the other hooks we got, which is why all the way to the right I've got hooks with USB-C to USB-C cables, USB-C to USB-A cables, lightning cables, and even USB-C to micro USB. In short, cables that we need all the time. And because we get so much tech weekly, I use the little wiring strips to arrange them. However, I think I'm going to buy some Amazon cable ties that are attached to the wires so I avoid losing these. I also had to come up with another system for my brackets because I lose those all the time.
Where are all the brackets?
What bracket?
This is what Jen does with these brackets. You lose the brackets all the time.
Okay, well, I just got a proper basket for these. This eventually led to install baskets for lens caps and Allen keys, which I use all the freaking time to attach and detach things onto our cameras. Trust me, you do not want to lose these during shoot days, just like the fact you do not want to lose your SD cards during those days. So we came up with this very simple system to avoid doing so. It's clever, it works super well, and allows for us to keep footage organized. Very similar to what Muffed allows us to do with this wall stand and snap pad. I tend to keep my iPad Air here, which is pretty much responsible for our automation in the office, plus it stays close to the side power strip, which makes it easy to charge. My last DIY tip is to keep a tool organizer on the pegboard, and just a couple so you can put your most used tools in here. For us, it's a screwdriver with replaceable tips, which live in a basket at the bottom, along with some pens and a wire cutter that we use all the time to get rid of cable ties. All of this together, my friends, is the perfect DIY pegboard for our needs, allowing us to pretty much keep all of our drawers clutter free and organized. If you are going to get this for the office, here's how I recommend you sort the drawers. First drawer, keep your big devices. Tablets, laptops, keyboards, and so on. It's big enough for it, and you can even stack things in here. Towards the middle, starting from the top drawer, I heavily recommend you keep your cases, laptop sleeves, and even foldable stands, which leaves enough room on the second drawer for DisplayPort cables, HDMI cables, Thunderbolt 4 cables, and even power bricks. For now, we have so few of these that I decided to keep them all in one, leaving my third one empty. With time, I'm sure I'll get to fill it up. Now, the before last drawer is our mouse drawer. There's so much room in here for mice and controllers, plus it's tall enough to fit them all. I thought it was the perfect place for them, mainly because the last one is just way too big. That one is where I keep a lot of my miscellaneous items and keeps me from losing them. All the way to the right of these, when it comes to gear drawers, these here all contain camera equipment, whether that's batteries, accessories, and even audio equipment. It all stays within here. The only thing I do recommend doing is leaving this last drawer for handy tools like your iFixit kit, drills, screwdriver sets, measuring tapes, and so on. If you keep these in one single place, you will literally never lose them. I do admit I need to find a better use for the storage box. I tend to keep new tech in here that still needs to be unboxed, but I cannot keep things like laptops, monitors, and other big devices. However, the small stuff fits for now, and it sort of does the job. It really keeps the top shelf from avoiding those types of items. I rather put the cameras, some small lighting sources, lenses, cages, and even small compartment boxes on it. It's pretty much like a quick access shelf where I can put things that deserve to be showcased and look nice. But yeah, this is pretty much our holy grail. It's the first place I come to in the morning and the last place I leave at night. Keeps everything organized in one single place and leaves a lot of space in the office for more tech. I think it's my #1 recommendation this year, probably even more than the new M2 MacBook Air, which, by the way, a long-term review is coming out next week. I've been loving this device, and although it's not perfect, I think it might be the best laptop of the year. Stay tuned for it. I am closing out. Take care.